The Primus is said to be an Eternal One who at one point ruled the Shadowlands alongside his brother, Zovaal. Little is known about Zovaal's Shadowlands, but we can assume it may have looked at least in part like the Shadowlands we see today. The Primus was chosen as the warlord of the Shadowlands, their personal bodyguard. His duty? Protect the Shadowlands from all invaders, maintain the balance of the universe. He also had his own plans that may have had some profound repercussions on the Shadowlands, or perhaps just plans that led certain Eternal Ones to question their purpose within the universe. Either way, there are many questions about the Primus. Let's see if we can answer some. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Akalon. I spent my life in search of the secrets of World of Warcraft. If, like me, you consider yourself an explorer of the worlds of Warcraft, please hit that like button. A special thank you to all of the patrons and Twitch subs of the channel for your support. More ways to support the channel at the end of the video. Now strap in, keep your hands and feet inside the car at all times. We journey to the Shadowlands. I do not know exactly when Zovaal decided to turn against his brothers and sisters. Much of it seems like this was in an age long before. This doesn't mean that it could not have happened while the Nathrias had his incursions with the Light. If you watched my video about Zovaal and the Light, link in the top right hand corner, you'd know that I believe Zovaal may have had an issue with the size and power of the Light and Void in the universe. Of course, it could be that Zovaal was already banished when the Light attacked. It is neither relevant or important for this video. What we do know is Zovaal believed that their sigils held the answer to ancient knowledge, a key that would allow them control over the cosmic forces and the ability to ensure the safety of the universe. He may have believed that the First Ones were hiding something. Another point of contention for me is the sigils themselves. We are never told who gave them these sigils, or even when these sigils were introduced. We know that they can make their own sigils, but at least in Shadowlands 9.1, the original sigils were not of their own making. This may have been the First Ones, but that would also mean that the First Ones did not create the Eternal Ones, but rather that the First Ones arrived in the Shadowlands after the Eternal Ones were already in control. Perhaps the First Ones persuaded the Eternal Ones of their grand plan, their grand design, and thus a new age for the Shadowlands were ushered in. Just as a quick aside here, my reading on the lore, as it were, sort of suggests that the First Ones may not have been the fathers or the mothers of the Eternal Ones, but rather a force that sort of conquered it, as it were. The fact of the matter is, Steve Denuser in his own interviews state that the cosmological forces are constantly in combat with one another. If you read the brokers, their sort of, writings on the First Ones, it becomes quite clear that they themselves don't quite know if there's one power that became 6 powers, or if it's one power that brought order to 6 powers, or maybe there's even a 7th power that came because of the 6 powers. This is something that they just don't know. The language and the writings of the First Ones itself makes it not clear, if that's even a way to describe it or to say it, what this means. Huge shout out to Coca-Cola and their Real Magic campaign for sponsoring this video. When I first heard about the campaign, if you follow me over on Twitch, you would know why I said yes to it. It's all about bringing people together. It's all about saying, hey, yes, we disagree. Yes, we have different beliefs, different backgrounds, different cultures, but we have to be able to find common ground. Coke says, have a Coke, figure this stuff out. So I say, sure, why not? And when I found out that I don't have to sell anything to my community, you guys don't have to buy anything, you don't have to spend money anywhere, all they need is you watching a 60-second video, which has some, let's say, hidden codes in the video. If you spot one of these hidden codes, go to the website, type it in, and bam, stand a chance to win some awesome prizes. Prizes will differ based on the country that you're in. If you're in South Africa, for example, you stand the chance to win 2 tickets to the FIFA World Cup. What could be simpler? So Coca-Cola, thank you so much for sponsoring this video, and I do hope that one of you, at least, win one of these awesome prizes. We are told in the Shadowlands that the Primus is a master tactician with a knack for controlling the battlefield. It is even said that he only ever lost when losing meant he would ultimately win. There is someone that we know that is very similar to this, N'Zoth. N'Zoth is said by Xal'atath herself that even in defeat, N'Zoth would ultimately win the battle. So N'Zoth had very much the exact same qualities as the Primus. In fact, based on the Grimoire of the Shadowlands, the Primus has never lost a single battle. In this lies our first grand insight. Mortals. The Primus has the ability to see all outcomes of any battle. He also ensured that he had no knowledge of where his sigil would be, so that Zovaal would be left having to scour the Shadowlands in order to find the proverbial needle in a haystack. The Primus, sadly, for some reason, could not foresee us, mortals. Our actions were hidden to him. Why is this the case? In my opinion, and as always remember that opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, and that includes assholes like me. Mortals exist outside the threads of fate. For some reason, our connection to Azeroth appears to have placed us outside of the rings of fate. Our actions cannot be accounted for because they cannot be seen. They only become known once we have acted. Could this be an accident? Perhaps this is why Azeroth is said to be the strongest titan in the Great Beyond. Because she herself isn't limited to the Rings of Fate. Her actions belong wholly to her, and we are her chosen warriors. On that, and I do apologize that I keep interrupting this scripted video with my own opinions, but as I'm going through the script, I keep getting reminded of things that should have been in the script in the first place. Azeroth is the result, at least at this point, based on the reading of the lore, of multiple experimentations by the Titans. We know that Azeroth seems to exhibit certain qualities that could be looked at as different cosmological forces being infused into Azeroth. We know that Azeroth's blood acts very, very weirdly when it comes close to the Fel. There's something up with Azeroth, and when you look at creatures like Galakrond or Ga'Hoon, it's clear that the Titans loved experimentation. So looking at Azeroth, looking at all of the engines, all of the structures that the Titans built there, is it completely deniable or completely out of the realm of possibility that the Titans would have done some experiments on this incredible Titan that they just discovered? I don't think so. Early on, we learned that the Primus made a deal with someone who taught him how to see all possible timelines, to see all truths, as it were, and thus be capable of seeing every outcome to every option before it even happens. Sorry, excuse me, future Akalon here, have to jump in right at this point and just make something clear. It's either that the Primus can see all possible truths and therefore can see the outcome of everything, or it's that the Primus can see all possible truths within a given battle. This is never actually made clear to us, so it could go either way, and sadly, it would change this speculation 100% if the latter is true. So if it is true that the Primus can only really see every outcome of every individual battle, so outside of the scope of a given war, he can't see every outcome, then that changes the speculation almost 180 degrees, but we don't know. We simply don't know. It's just said that he can see all truths and that he went to someone to learn how to do this. He made a deal with someone. Anyway, back to the video. This gives us at least some insight also into the Eternal Ones. We can rightly surmise that the Eternal Ones are not, as it were, timeless beings. Yes, they are immortal, but they are bound to a single timeline. They do not exist outside the system, but rather inside it. They can only see part of their own reality and not what is the sum of all realities. So far in World of Warcraft, we know of only one force with this skill set, and that is the Void Lords. It is said that the Void Lords do not exist in this or any timeline, but they are eternal. They see all truths and see all possibilities. They exist outside the cycle of life and death, of space and time. Could it be that there are other beings that can do this as well? Yes, I believe so, but we have not yet met any such beings, so speculating on this would be a fool's errand. As a result of this, we can at least in part surmise that the Primus must have learned this from the Void. This may be another reason why Zovaal believed the system flawed. A system where the light and the void has such incredible power that they even hold sway within the Shadowlands could have been the tipping point for Zovaal. Consider that the light and the void seem to have a rather big problem with death, and both have an innate ability to keep beings out of the Shadowlands. And I have to interject myself here again. Wow! So many things coming to mind as I'm recording this video. When we talk about the light and the void and their ability to keep beings out of the realms of the Shadowlands, need to remind you about the Una question, about Uther and the interference of the light with his soul going into Frostmourne. You have the void and you have the old gods. Galakrond calls himself the god of death, literally waging war on Zovaal, basically telling us back then already that we are not seeing the full picture. N'Zoth himself warns us about the ultimate enemy. He warns us about the darkness that is coming and that he alone can save us from this darkness. So it's clear that the light and the void have their own agendas, and they definitely do not like the realms of death, as it were. Does that mean that they don't like the Eternal Ones? I don't know if this is a specific hatred towards a specific Eternal One, or rather just a hatred to the Shadowlands and the realms of the Shadowlands and their workings as a whole. This, unfortunately, I don't yet know. Did the Primus's deal with the Void spark Zovaal's betrayal? Another possible threat to be followed is that of Galakrond. I will not go into too much detail, but could it be that when Zovaal saw the experiments of the Titans, the powers that they were meddling with, he realized that the universe itself may eventually consume itself as a result of forces playing with toys far beyond their understanding? In a future video, I will explore Galakrond and his power, but for now, keep in mind, Galakrond is beyond any power you can imagine. Left unchecked, he would have had the power to eventually consume the universe, the great beyond, and even the Shadowlands. Such a power surely should never have existed. I do not yet know all the facts, and there are certainly parts of the story that still elude me, but it seems ever more likely that it was the actions of the Eternal Ones and the deals that led to the creation of the Shadowlands in its current iteration that may have sparked the war we find ourselves in right now. Perhaps it was the Titans meddling with cosmic powers in an attempt to create a weapon that could rule the cosmology, or perhaps the light and the void striking bargains with the Eternal Ones of the Shadowlands was the tipping point. Forces that are already a big threat, gaining even more power. Either way, I have a feeling that the Primus's role in all of this has only just begun. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for taking a walk with us through the realms of Warcraft. If you like this video, please consider hitting the like button and hit that subscribe button, as it does help the channel a ton. A special thank you to all of the patrons of the channel for your monthly support. Without you, videos like this one would not be possible. If you wish to support the channel and get even more exclusive content like behind the scenes videos, a weekly podcast, please hit the link in the description down below and become a patron today. Also, to the Twitch subs and YouTube channel members, thank you so much for your monthly support. This channel keeps growing thanks to you. If you want to join us live every Tuesday to Friday, then hit the link in the description down below and join us over on Twitch. As always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. My name is Akalon, and I will see all of you in the next one. Peace. He also had his own plans. Plans that may have had... no. Maintain the balance of the universe. He also had his own plans. Fuck. Not plain plans. Okay, never mind. He also had his own plans. Plans that may have had. Fuck. Okay. Had in capital. Had. Okay. While the No. He had the foresight to hide his sigil. He also ensured. No. And considering what the Titans have done with beings like Galakrond, with beings like, fuck. Oh my god, what's that boss called again? First boss in Battle for Azeroth. In BFA, I can't remember his name. In Uldir, yes, in Uldir. Who was that first boss again? Fuck my life. I genuinely can't remember. Goon. Okay. Alright, I can't remember, Alex, how I ended that, so I'm just gonna start again. Or just start a little bit back. Early on, No, fuck! No. Never mind. This gives a... No. A system where the light and the void had such incredible power that they even hold sway over the Shadowlands. No, I fucked that up royally. Wow, well done, Akalon. Never before have someone read a fucking sentence that horribly. Good job. Good job, bro. Can high five. Yes, let's do this. But it seems ever more likely that this was the actions of the Eternal Ones. No, wow. Wow! What a fuck up! Again, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for taking a walk with us through the realms of Warcraft. No.